Hey guys. So last couple of days I've been at a conference. That's why I really haven't been on like that. But something cool happened while I was there. This was a conference for my job, so it was more like a training type thing. Like me and like a bunch of my coworkers were there or whatever. And so and we're staying at this hotel because it was like a couple day conference, right? And so I just want to talk about how like God can really use you in unlikely places, and like not where you don't think it may possibly happen, and in ways that you might not actually expect, right? I think when we think of like ministering to somebody, we automatically think, oh, we need to pray for them, we need to tell them the Bible, we need to read 5 scriptures or something, like all that kind of stuff. But really, like the thing is, it's like we're the hands and feet of God, right? And sometimes God, God is such a loving God that He just wants to provide what the person may need in the moment. And sometimes it is a prayer, but then sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a Bible verse, and sometimes it's not. And we just have to be open to it, like being open to uh, operating in how God moves us. And so like let me tell you guys what happened, right? So I was at the conference. It was actually the other night. I stayed up a little bit later. It was like around 10 o'clock. I was trying to finish this class I'm in, like one of the sessions. And so I got down with it was about 10 o'clock or so. I was like, it was the night before I was going to leave. So I was like, I can just put this notebook. This is a pretty big notebook. The brand new class from Marshawn Evans that I told you about, and I had a really big notebook for. I was doing one of the sessions the other night, and so I was like, I can just put this in the car now because I'm checking out in the morning, and that'd be one less thing for me to worry about, and just so I don't forget it or anything like that. And so I went downstairs, went down the elevator, and at the end of the hallway there was this vending and ice machine room. But really, all there was in there was the ice machine. I don't know what happened to the vending machine, but it was just ice machine, right? And I saw these sandals, right? So someone in there was a woman, and I could see her sandals. And originally, I was like, oh, those kind of look like our program director, well, program coordinator's shoes. It's like, oh, it's odd for her to be, there or whatever, just hanging out. But I was like, I didn't think much of it. So I went downstairs, went to the car, put the notebook up, and then went back. And so when I got back to my floor, I looked again, like just glanced over, and again the person was still there. But this time I got a little better look and actually saw like a sweatshirt. I was like, oh wait, no, that's one of my coworkers. And so like that's strange. Like, why would she be sitting in the ice cream? Cause like it was the vending machine. Like the vending machine was there. You might be trying to figure out, okay, what do I want? But it's all there is ice, so you can get ice and then that's it. And so I was like, well, that's all right. I was like, what is she doing there? And so like the Holy Spirit was like, you need to check to see if she's okay. I'm just like, that's weird. And so I started walking back towards the room, and then I started hearing her cry. I'm like, oh crap. I'm not big with people. Like, that's not my situation. I don't know what to do in those situations when people are crying. Like, I'm like, what do I do? What do I say? Like, I don't know. I don't have a default in those situations. My default is just like, yikes. And so, and the thing was particularly because one, I'm not really big. I'm not against physical touch and or like hugging people or whatever, but I'm also like that's not my go-to. And like the person who it was, I get the same vibe, and particularly we're also just coworkers. We're not like buddy friends. And I just kind of get that vibe. Like she's like, like this is my space. Don't enter my bubble type. And like totally cool. Get that same way. And so I was literally standing in the hallway. Like I know I heard what the Holy Spirit said. I hear her crying. I'm like, I don't know what to do. God, I don't know what to say. And so I stay there for like a couple of minutes. And then, because I'm just in there listening, and I hear her, because she was crying kind of heavily, and then she kind of stopped from what I can tell. So I was like, okay, let me go in now. Because I felt like like she wasn't bawling her eyes out at that moment. So I was like, okay, I can go in and just see what God say, because I don't know. So I go in, she looks up, I'm like, hey, are you okay? And she said something, but she was crying too, so I couldn't really understand what she was saying. And so I just sat next to her, like on the windowsill there. And so she was crying for like a moment. And then I was just, oh crap, like God. But then I'm trying to think of like what could possibly be wrong. Like, oh, did someone die? Someone in the hospital? And she's stuck here. So I think for her, it was a good distance between her and where the conference was and where she lived or whatever. Either way, it was a distance for all of us for the most part. So like you wouldn't be able to get back, and we still had another morning of conference. So she might not have been able to get back. So I figure out, what's wrong, what's the issue. And then she said she's like, her boyfriend broke up with her and like over text message at that. So she was like, isn't this like middle school or something? Like, and so anyway, so I was like, okay, breakup. I can handle breakups, right? It's like, all right, God, so what should I say though? Like, okay, like, because the thing was, I was just like, okay, this is a topic I can work with, I can handle. And then I was just like, what to say? So the first things I was just like, first thing I said was like, as if, today didn't already suck enough, because we was in a long day of training, and it was training kind of like, really like how to report, that kind of stuff. So it wasn't like the fun training where you learn to cook something new. It was reporting. So nobody wants to sit through that. And we had already joked about how long that was and how no one was interested. So then that kind of got her to laugh a little bit. So I was like, okay, cool. We in there, right? So I'm just like, okay. But she was still kind of like crying up. But then it's just like, okay, what do I do next? What do I do next? And so I was just like, you are a strong, independent Black woman who don't need no man. I was like, that's the line that we're going to go for. I was like, we're going to go humor this route anyways, right? And so she was like, what? Mind you, she's like, she's not Black. But it got her to laugh some more. And I was like, okay, I feel like I've done what I need to do. I just told her, I'm not going to tell you. Because like, I didn't want it to be one of those situations where like, oh, you don't need him. Oh, you're good by yourself. Like, I did it in a joking way, but not to like be serious. Because like, the thing is like, well, I don't know nothing about her relationship sex. I don't know how long they were together. But either way, it's like, I know a lot of times, particularly when we're in like a work setting, we just ball up our feelings. We ball them up. We don't express them. We just hold things in, and like we're in a work setting still. Like, yeah, it was after hours, but we're still at a work conference as well. And so it could have been easy for her to be like, let me just ball up these feelings, ball up these emotions. Like, no, like feel this in this moment. You don't have to rush through this. You don't have to do anything to make it feel like you don't have to get over it really quickly. Like, that's the thing I wanted to really express in that moment. And so then I asked God, I was like, okay, God, should I pray for her? And like, because the thing is, I know plenty now. I can pray comfort. That's one I can pray for you for. There's some stuff that I only got like a couple of scriptures for. But when it comes to like comfort, like God be a comforter, I got some scriptures for that. So I'm like, look, this is what I do. I can do this one now. But God was like, no. Like in that moment, she didn't need a prayer. And she might not even, like, I don't know her relationship with God. I don't know if she's a Christian or not. I don't know any of that about her. But in that moment, she didn't necessarily need for me to like pray her down and throw out a bunch of scriptures, In that moment, she just needed comfort. She just needed to laugh a little bit. And that was God. Like, God wanted to, like, God knew she was upset. And no matter what their status is, as far as if she's a believer or not, God still cares about all of his kids, Like, we're all his kids, not just the Christians. Like, no, it's all of us, Because he created all of us, So he cares about us. And so he wants us, he wants to be there for us. And even in the small moments, like I know a lot of times we think that God's only there in the big moments. God's there in the small moments, and he cares about the small moments. And that was a small moment, but that was big to her. And in that moment, I was able to be there to give her that comfort, give her that, committed relief or whatever. So then that way she could go on and finish out the rest of the conference a little bit better, And so I think a lot of times we look at it like, oh, if I could put on my, missionary hat on or my missionary jacket, or I'm going out for God, my, ambassador of God jacket on, to then go out and do the work of God. And that means to pray for people, and it means to, tell them the scriptures. But like, God can use you so many more ways, and we just have to be open to it. Like, it wasn't a moment for me to really push the Bible really hard in that moment, It was just a moment to be there and to develop that relationship where, like, it wasn't even for me to say, oh, God's here, God, what you got orchestrated this moment. And that wasn't necessary. God just needed her, just wanted to give her comfort in a way that she would receive. And so, like, that's how we just got to be. We have to be, like, where we're open to the leading of God and obedient to what he wants us to do. We can't allow ourselves, our own egos to get, huffed up to the point where we're like, oh, let me this is how this should happen. This, and this need to happen. And I consult the Holy Spirit. Like throughout the whole time, I was praying. I was like, God, what should I do? What should I do? Like, and that's wisdom. That's using wisdom. That's asking God for wisdom while I ask Him what to be the next move, my next move. Because I promise, guarantee you, had I really started, Bible thumping her, like, she wouldn't have heard nothing I said because she was already upset for one. And, like, it just would have been even worse. It would have been a weird situation. But, I was able to allow God to use me in that moment. And she was cool, like, she was receptive to it. And, like, after that, we just went our separate ways or whatever. But she was no longer crying by the ice machine, which is a win, So I just want to encourage you guys, like, really allow God to use you. Just be open to it. And, like, I know a lot of times I get kind of fearful because it's like, oh, God's going to have me healing everybody I see on the streets or something. Like, it might, maybe one day, I don't know. But it might not be. Sometimes it might just be a smile. It might just be a high five to somebody or a wave or whatever, just showing yourself friendly because you're showing the love of God. So, yeah, that was a pretty awesome moment. And I'm really glad I was able to experience it. So, yeah, I will talk to you guys later.